Good evening, everyone. And I'd rather say that a warm good evening, everyone. It's pretty warm out here in Bangalore today, and I'm not too sure how it is in your part of the town. And hoping that, yes, you all are having a good time now. Today, we are back here with yet another interesting and educative series of Global Learning Curve, which is a part of our Global Wedding Network. Before I start this session, I would like to just say a little of Global Wedding Network. As the name suggests, we are a forum for all entrepreneurs for your wedding planning requirements with wedding planners and their associates. It could be a photographer, it could be a makeup artist, it could be a gifting person, a trousseau packing, caterer, everybody who's related with the wedding industry is a part of this platform. And we are trying to bring the entire industry under one roof with the whole idea of ensuring that we work in collaborations. Wedding is not a one man's work, it is a lot of team effort and lots of different aspects of leaders who come together and put in their best foot forward to make sure of this. Hence, it is very important, especially for the wedding planners, to know a little of everything so that when they are putting into their clients, they can understand and relate to the subject matter very well and then hand it over to that particular expert of that field. Today, and Global Learning Curve aims at bringing such educative series where we can actually help you all understand the nitty-gritties of every field, though we might not be a part of that field, but this knowledge helps us in pitching well to our clients and being a wholesome solution to them. Keeping this in mind, one of the most important factors of any wedding is photography and videography. That is because the moments may get over in that particular day. What lasts is the memories. And it is a job of the photographer and the result of his efforts that we cherish for years to come. Today, I'm proud and privileged to say that we have amongst us Jatin from Jatin Photography. Welcome, Jatin. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to share your experiences and your knowledge about this particular industry.
Thank you. Thank you, Anita.
So Jatin has been in this industry for close to 20 years now, and he's a passionate photographer. He likes to be introduced as advertising photographers with a well-equipped studio with all the necessary equipments, be it your dark rooms, be it your changing rooms, and of course the high-end facilities which are required to make him the kind of a photographer that he is. He's also done his diploma course in commercial art from the Raheja School of Arts and undergone 3 years of intensive training and has been an assistant to a well-known photographer, Mr. Girish Mistry and Mr. Dilip Bhatia. If I go to read his bio sheet, it is going to take me at least another 20 minutes. That is the kind of experience and achievements he has to his laurels. Instead of me reading it out, we shall take out more about it through him through these sessions. So welcome, Jatin.
Yes, thank you, Anita.
Thank you so much. So Jatin, I was just looking into your bio sheet, and I see that you have an immense experience in the field of advertising. You have experience in the field of your saloons and fashion shows, wherein you've catered to L'Oreal's professionals as well. And I see a lot of other kind of client services that you've done. Would you like to just give a small brief of what you do, why you do, how you do?
See, photography is like, it's my passion, first of all. I started doing it since I was 10 years old. It was a hobby at that time, and then slowly it turned into passion because when I went to the college art school, and we had a subject of photography, and that interested me over there to get into professionally. Then I took the training and assisted a couple of photographers to learn. And of course, see, photography is something practical. It is not theoretical. You can't just read a book and become a photographer. You have to try, practice, fall first, and then stand again. And the same journey I have gone through. learned it hard way. But yes, if I see today, if I see, backwards, I see lots of experience and lots of, yeah, what what can I say? I mean, if I keep talking, it will be, maybe couple of hours.
No, I understand. When it comes to passion and when you need to talk of something that you love the most, you can go on and on and on.
True.
And I like the way you put it that, it was first your hobby and then it became your passion converting to profession. So that's a beautiful merger. And that is one reason probably which leads to success, the way you've succeeded in this particular field. And yes, as you say, that it is more of a feeling and it is a sense, you just feel it. It's very difficult to word it out at times.
Yes, because like many people ask me, what is your business?
Hmm.
So I always tell them photography is not my business, it's my profession.
Okay.
So when I'm doing it, I do it from my heart. I always say that, when I go to sleep, I always think what good I have done today, not how much money I have earned. And that gives me satisfaction. The satisfied clients' faces are my satisfaction.
That's true. I mean, and being a part of any celebration and being remembered years and years and generations after it also, but it's such a
True,
wow feeling.
true, true.
So, and being in the service industry, it's very different, right? Because you need to be there everywhere. But today, what I understand is photography is just not normal, just the click of a camera. It is gone, it's become an art in itself. You have various forms of photography. You can have a photography for any moment. Now you're having so many pre-wedding shoots, you have your maternal shoots. We've always been used to having our क्या बोलते हैं उसको शादी से पहले जो अपना पोर्टफोलियो बनता है क्या बोलते हैं उसको जतिन
Pre-wedding shoot.
हाँ
You're talking about a pre-wedding shoot or
नो नो उसके
matrimonial
पहले भी मैट्रिमोनियल पिक्चर्स
matrimonial.
आई रिमेम्बर गोइंग टू अ फोटो स्टूडियो में वहां खड़ी हो गई साड़ी पहन के मेरी फोटो खींची गई उसके बाद में गई सलवार पहन के आ गई फोटो खींची गई सो दोज आर द बेसिक्स अब तो यू हैव सो मेनी ऑप्शंस वुड यू लाइक टू जस्ट टॉक अ लिटिल अबाउट कैंडिड फोटोग्राफी कैन यू जस्ट टॉक अबाउट the various options that are available in photography like as a wedding planner what all you should pitch in and probably what are the small pointers that you can give people on the different types of photographies.
See, as you said, I'll begin with the matrimonial portfolio first. See, when a person, a lady or a guy, is looking to get married, the most important thing now, these days, I can understand, a lot of love marriages happening and people are meeting on the, online and, it happens. And most of the time, what we have seen is the failure, and that is the matrimonial portfolio is the foundation. If that is not perfect, it can lead to anywhere. Because when we personally, when I click a matrimonial portfolio, I always try to portray the nature of that person in that photograph. So the person who's selecting it or seeing it gets to know about him and the first impression of him perfect. So they can relate to it and then go forward to meet.
Got it.
So that's a foundation. It has to be correct. It cannot be just went in any studio, click 2-3 pictures, and go out and अरे I'm looking good, बहुत अच्छी दिख रही हूँ, बहुत अच्छा दिख रहा है, That's not the point. Are you the same person in the photograph? That is more important rather than just being a good photograph.
Got it.
Okay. And in wedding photography, like in wedding photography, the few things, I mean, when you choose a wedding photographer, you should always see the style. These are few things you should style, comfort, communication, backup. Now, backup in terms of how the photographer backs up his files or images, and how he shares also his professionalism. That is the most important, and the communication and commitment,
Mhm.
how he delivers. Because when you're hiring a photographer, he should be professional enough to complete the job. If it is not professional, God knows how he will, get the results out of it. Second
Got it.
thing, the comfort is important, because you should be comfortable with that person. Because in India, there are a lot of बोलते हैं ना, somebody like Marwadi's wedding or Sindhi's wedding or Maharashtrian's wedding. There are so many communities are there, and every culture, every culture has a different way of doing weddings. Very different way. So if that photographer is professional enough, he will adapt those things and do it. He will adjust to the situations rather than trying to change the situation according to him.
Got it.
Okay. So, and the comfort, and of course the most important thing is the pricing.
I think that matters the most to the wedding planner, and more importantly to the client.
True. But before getting into pricing, even wedding planners, or maybe the people who's planning their wedding, they should first know how the wedding photographer charges, the way of their charging. Because it's not something, you're going in a grocery market and you buy, this is for today's rate is this per kilo. No, it is not like that. Every photographer has their different charges, and there is a reason for it. Why they are charging so much, how they are charging. So everybody should know that, understand that first, and accordingly select, rather than just cutting down. Yeah.
And so what are the bare minimum elements that I will stick basically to the wedding category right now, because we represent the wedding planning groups here. So keeping that in mind, what are the bare minimum elements that a wedding planner can pitch in for their clients to elevate and make the client more comfortable? So bare minimum क्या क्या चाहिए? इतना मालूम है कि फोटोग्राफर चाहिए, वीडियोग्राफर चाहिए, आजकल ड्रोन का भी थोड़ा सा there is a requirement and a style of fashion or a fad if you tell it कि drone चाहिए अपने को. Okay, assuming that you have your permissions to run the drone. So there are people who get confused between standard photography and still photography. Are both required, or can we get away with any one? If it is any one, what do you pitch in for?
See, in photography, there are the three important, very, very important things. One is traditional photographer. Second is a candid photographer, and then the video. Now, previously, what we were used to have was the traditional video of recording the entire event, everything, and just edit a little bit and present it to the client. And the entire family was to sit and watch it for 3 hours, 4 hours or so.
Right.
Okay. But today, nobody has got that much time to see it. So what we do is, we give the glimpse of the event. That's you can say a 5-minute video. So best glimpse are covered over there. That's a one way of doing it. And second, also is offered is a cinematography.
Yes.
Now that is what the entire event is shown step by step, as they are watching a movie. Okay, and for that, special cameras required, special equipments are required. So on, the budget is also different for that. No, it's not the same budget as for the traditional thing.
Okay.
But yeah, so main thing is that in photography, in still photography, traditional and candid photographers.
Okay.
And I guess people attending already know what the difference between the traditional and candid. So I don't need to, explain that.
Yes, got it. That makes sense. And one more thing that I would like to know from you is there is always a hesitancy, in certain events of the hesitancy is on having a photographer. Okay, people now feel that my friends are there, my friends can click these pictures, my friend will do this, or mere tauji ka beta hai, they are going to do. Do you have any particular message for such kind of discussions that anybody faces? Of course, when you have the 3-day wedding, 5-day wedding, you have professional photographers around. But when you have the smaller events, I'm explicitly talking about that part of it.
Yes, see, it is equally important to have a professional photographer, even in the smaller weddings also. Because first of all, if it's your friend's wedding or your relative's wedding, okay, that wedding and that event is equally important for you. So first and the main thing is whether do you want to waste your time clicking pictures or you want to participate in and enjoy the moment. These days many people have seen, they try to click on the camera, mobile camera, and they say नहीं अरे mobile है ना क्यों चाहिए फटाफट, but the basic thing is mobile camera can't do what the professional camera can do.
Agree.
And the professional photographer can do. Honestly, like using a mobile phone camera, are they going to make prints out of that, or they are going to save it, or they are going to look at it every day? No, they are not. Right? And over the time, they may lose those images because of various reasons, like it may get deleted while switching or changing the phone. When you buy a new phone and try to switch copy everything to that, your images get lost, or you forgot where you saved it, and of course, as I said, it doesn't look professional at all.
Right.
Because
those are good just for those are just to have memories with your friends while you're just sitting on the table. You just click the selfie. ठीक है, वो वहाँ चलता है. But when you're talking about creating memories, then yes, you need a professional click for it.
Yes. See, because taking selfies now, imagine bride and माला पहनाने का जब भी time आता है, and somebody comes and taking selfie, aren't they spoiling their moments? The bride's and groom's special moment, which are there for their lifetime. And of course, see, when you hire a professional photographer, they know the best angles.
Right.
They know how to create a good photograph, how to catch that emotion, because those emotions are very important. Especially what candid photographer does. Traditional photographer is covering the event. Candid photographer try and capture those special moments of the mother of a bride, or maybe a grandmother or grandfather.
I like that word which you used. Capturing emotions is what is more important than just clicking random pictures. So that's really true that we wouldn't know. Like I've seen such beautiful images. Having said that, we are all on the same page that it is very important to have a professional photographer at a wedding or any other smaller or bigger events which are happening. When we agree to this, I want to understand that how do you plan the budget for a wedding photography? How does that work?
Okay, so planning a budget for wedding photography is like when you're planning a budget, first of all you need to plan the event. Now, why am I saying this? Because this all things depends on that. Planning the event, then the dates, then the location, and then how you want to documentize your event. That's like that is hiring a photographer, because I have personally experienced so many times that people ask, like, हम लोग का ये we have a wedding and it's going to be maybe 2 days or maybe 4 days, and so how much will charge? So that time it's so difficult, because first of all, the dates of the event. See, if the dates are not planned, how am I going to see whether I'm booked on that day or not? Whether I'm available on those days. Then the location. Because if they're hiring me and asking me the quotation, and if they are planning a wedding in Maldives, suppose, and if I, charge according to the standard, I mean, locally, it's become difficult for them also and for us also, because see, it's not only the rates for that. Okay, if I'm having a shoot here, I might plan accordingly, because as you know, I have a team of people who works, right, of traditional, candid, and everybody. So if I'm doing it here, I always arrange a backup. If something goes wrong, then I always have people on the call. So if the location I don't know, and if it's too far, and if I keep a backup for here in Mumbai, so and if it requires suppose in Vapi or Daman, so it's difficult for the backup person to reach and continue doing it. So that's why the location and these are the very important things, because it's a lifetime experience for the bride and grooms. And yeah, and the main thing, as I said, the budget. See, because it is always better to give a budget rather than asking for budget. Because see, wedding photography start from minimum to say 25 to 50,000. It can go up till 5 crores also. It depends what kind of equipment what we are going to use. I just rightly said, drones are there. We use cranes also.
Yes.
In fact, we use very high technique camera phones and gadgets. Like, you might have seen a couple of in wedding ceremony, top angle has taken. Yes. So it is taken by sometimes drone, but if drone is not available in some small hall, banquet, then what they do is they have a gadget. With the stick, they take the camera up, and we shoot remotely. We see images on the mobile phone, whether it is taken properly or not, and if the angle is come proper or not, and we do it.
So in this regards, what I understand is, since a wedding planner may or may not be equipped with so much of a knowledge, do you think in the first meeting itself, introducing the photographer to the, what do you suggest as a photographer? Introduce you directly to the client in the beginning to understand the elements and come up for a budget?
If the wedding planner is doing it, hiring a photographer, first, I feel wedding planner needs to plan it properly, all things, and then introduce the photographer. And in that case, see what happens. Every wedding planner has their own style of doing it. Has their own way of doing it. And for wedding planner, each and every event is their baby. And in wedding, if you ask me, wedding planner and wedding photographer, these are the two most important people.
The favorites of the client.
But they are the most important in wedding, on wedding day, because wedding planner plans the entire location and how it's going to be, and the entire procedure to make it a grand. And the wedding photographer, he records everything and make it memorable. So after a couple of years, whenever they take out those photographs of and see, they get refreshed and they actually reach at the venue. So they are the two most important things.
Got it.
So so that's why I said the collaboration between wedding planner and wedding photographer is must. Because once you have a collaboration, you know the taste of each other. You have communicated well. You have the comfort level.
Right.
And because of that, you get the consistency.
I generally put it this way, the wedding planners create the right kind of an ambience, okay, for the clients and their guests and be it friends or relatives to, come have fun. And these are captured and cherished captured firstly by the wedding photographers. And then we again create these memories, everlasting memories, and which the client cherishes for his lifetime. So yes, it is very important that you have the right set of people working with you, because it is a story that is being told, right? In those wedding days, it is a story that we are creating. If it is not captured well, people who attended the function remember it for a few days to come, but people who were not a part of the function or people who want to recall these celebrations don't have good memories about it. They don't see it well. And even the efforts of a event planner or a caterer who's dressed his tables very well, if these are not captured, the work is not seen. You don't relish it, you don't cherish it much.
Truly.
Having said that, sorry, Jatin.
Yeah. One point I would like to add in this is we haven't talked about the styling. So see, when the wedding is planned, the planning is done, everything is done. But when the main pictures of where groom and bride, when we take those, and in fact on the other day also, the stylist is very important. When they dress up properly with the accessories and everything. So if the planner and the photographer is collaborated and together, then they don't need to have two different stylists.
Yes.
There's only one stylist, and that helps the client. Because in the past, my experience, I have experienced this, that wedding planner had a different stylist with them. Okay. And for me, with the shoot, I had a stylist as well. So I am charging for stylist as well as the wedding planner also charging. So when I was shooting, there were two stylists, and both stylists had a different style altogether. Of the way of doing it. So there was a conflict, and there was a conflict.
Oh.
See what happens if two people have a different style and different thought process. The entire thing, it goes haywire.
Got it.
And even the groom and bride also, they are confused what to do and how to express, because they are now professional models.
Got it. So now this point I always agree upon, you should know the teams you're working with. So when it comes to collaborations, you've rightly put it up that it's very important that the wedding planner and the photographer are on the same page. The photographer knows what elements are coming where, what is the importance and relevance of every element. Because when a wedding planner has placed something there, it is out of a purpose. Nothing is just by chance. Every element has a value and has a moment. And probably in discussions with the client, they understand that, and maybe that is of very much of an importance to the family, the bride and the groom. And if that is not conveyed to the photographer well, he may just overlook it. Ek element hai. But if he's spoken well beforehand about it, he will ensure that the spirits and the moments are captured in a more sensible manner.
Absolutely, that's a communication I was talking about. The communication has to be there. That's the key.
Got it. So now, when we're talking about experiences, tell me, I'd like to know two experiences. One, a very good experience that you've had, especially working with a wedding planner. It's not necessary that you name them. I know it's not more. The second will be a bad experience that you had from which you learned, ki, okay, this is something which I need to specifically tell the wedding planner before. So don't name the don't name the event, don't name the people whom you're working with, but share your experiences. We'd love to hear them.
First of all, I never say it's a bad experience, because
Okay.
every experience is a learning, and there's a scope of development to it. See, why it becomes bad, because somewhere they are going wrong.
Mhm.
But why they are going wrong? Because I'm gone wrong somewhere, because maybe I'm not communicated properly. Maybe I didn't understand it properly. Maybe I fail to understand, or do the things properly. So every experience. So that's why I always say there is no bad experience. It's always a learning process.
Got it.
So if
Very
if
nice.
you are learning, then every experience or every
वो
event
डिप्लोमेटिक हो
is
गया
is, is
ठीक है
a
वो पॉइंट मिल गया नाउ यू शेयर द एक्सपीरियंस कि क्या हुआ कहाँ पे आपको ज्यादा लर्निंग मिली ऐसा
नहीं
कुछ हुआ
नहीं
था ऑन फील्ड मे बी समथिंग जस्ट crashed down or maybe something was not ready and the client walked in and you were supposed to capture it anything that happened I mean this is just to know understand ki what is the thought that comes and how you cover it up immediately
एक experience I can share. Like it wasn't a wedding actually. Okay, it was a God Bharai ka event.
okay
Okay, and it came from a very strong referral,
okay
and they wanted to have a cinematic kind of a video,
okay
but the budget was less than traditional.
okay
Okay, so from first only I was trying to tell them, see what budget you have, in that we cannot achieve these kind of things. Yes, but we'll try to do it. I didn't say no, we'll try to do it, but we cannot have similar kind of equipment, because see, if we go for those equipments, always the charges applies, because nobody keeps on that in the shelf. We always hire, as you know. If you need a crane, you cannot keep the crane, you cannot all these things. So it was communicated, and they said okay. They showed us the reference videos, you know which was, to be very honest, they showed us one video of the Sachin Tendulkar's wedding. Okay. then, so this kind of videos they showed me, and they said, Jatin, we want to do this, but the budget is 10,000. So I told them this is not, but they said, "Man, do the best you think you can do." I said, "Okay, fine, we'll do the best," and we literally tried to do the best, changing angles. I mean, my videographer was doing it with the DSLR, and though he didn't had a steady cam, we tried to give a steady cam proper effect by sitting on chair, and I was pushing it and moving forward and backward and rotating it, doing all those things. So replacing crane with a wheelchair, doing all those things, and we captured it pretty well, and then we edited it for 5 minutes ka video. It was done nicely according to it. Okay, and before presenting the first cut, okay, we told them this is the sample songs which what we have
Preview.
used,
Yeah.
for the preview, which we thought these are the best, but you can always suggest which to replace with. So when they saw, they was completely, "Arey nahi Jatin, this is not correct, see the video sample I have sent you." I said, "Ma'am, I have already communicated that this is not going to be there, because the budget is so less, we cannot, but still the what kind of result we have got, it is quite good, and it was definitely good, because the main subject, the female was properly focused, and which has to go out of focus, it was going out of focus. Then the concentration, the focus goes on the diya, and when they pour the stuff, I don't know what exactly, I mean, what they pour, but like chawal and stuff, so details of chawal, and we even gave it a slow motion to that when they're pouring, and those kind of effect we try to get it in, though it wasn't, we went out of the way and did it, but that came. And honestly speaking, normally we say 2 edits, a maximum 3 edits, and we deliver the final. 3 edits also normally don't do, because it takes time. It takes time. But you won't believe, I have to went for 8 edits. Literally 8 edits, and by the time that happened, okay, she already was delivered, and the child was around 9 months or 1 year old when she finally got the video in.
So the essence of the moment goes away in this.
Actually, see, because if you try and push to do too many things, it's going to happen. And of course, when you give a correction, practically it takes time to edit. And we are not only on one job, because there are a couple of jobs coming in. We are shooting today also, tomorrow also, so we have a responsibility to deliver those on time. So this is one of the, I'll say, bad thing, but I learned from this. Now what I learned is, if it's not working, I should have got to know first, and I would have said clearly, no, I can't do it.
I agree. This is one learning which I think most of the event planners here also have had. When we try to see, I always believe that we are in the service industry. So being flexible, being accommodative, being to a certain extent negotiable is okay in our industry. But we should know where we have to draw the lines, because at the moment we are going to cut down on the deliverables or the quality of deliverables, I think that is where we should step back and say that this will not happen, because at the end of the day, the client is not happy, and you are not, more than them, you are not satisfied for the kind of quality of deliverables you're used to.
Correct,
and the kind of time, efforts that's going on, and still, that smile is not the genuine smile ki theek hai, aapne itna mehnat kiya, aapne, kitna jugaad kiya. I'd rather use the word jugaad for this now. कि, कितना जुगाड़ करके हम लोगों ने ये किया है, लेकिन जब वो खुशी नहीं मिलती है तो हम लोग खुश कैसे हो सकते हैं? So very well shared. I think this is an experience which quite a few event planners would have also had. And we ourselves, so it's very simple कि अगर आपको कहीं पे भी ये वाला काम इसमें मिल रहा है, please go ahead. This is my deliverable. This is my service. My service comes with this kind of a pricing. I am flexible and open to discussions, but only to the extent where my deliverables quality is not compromised. I think that is where we should take a stand.
Correct. Yes, and it doesn't matter if it's your very good friend or father's friend or your cousin.
वहाँ ज़्यादा problem होती है.
वहीं पे ज़्यादा problem. See, as I said, now this referral came from a very good friend, and he said, "Jatin, ये अपना घर का है, you have to do it." So I was in that burden that we have to do it, and we can't let it go. I mean, we can't say no. But you have to. I think you have to be very strong on that, and we need to learn to say no.
I'm not too sure how many of them will agree here. घर पे अपना काम और अपना वर्क प्रूव करना हमेशा ज्यादा मुश्किल रहता है दुनिया के सामने के कंपैरिजन में.
घर की मुर्गी हमेशा दाल बराबर होती है, to be very honest. I mean, if my wife is listening, she'll tell the same. इसको फोटो निकलना आता ही नहीं है. So,
having said that, okay, quickly, because we made this shoot on time, let's have a rapid fire, okay? Your best message to all the fellow photographers who might be listening to you.
Be professional, be specific, and don't compromise.
Your best message, don't copy the same, to all the event planners around here.
collaborate with the photographer team, not with the individual photographer, with a team of photographers. Don't make a mistake to collaborate with one single photographer. They have to have a good teams. They have to have a good deliverable. They should be professional. How to talk with your client, how to behave in front of your client. No?
Okay. And one message to the client.
Keep good
Don't
budgets.
say hire us. I would have just said hire me.
No, that's what I said. I said keep good budgets.
Keep good budgets.
Because it is their event, which is going to be a lifetime. So make it memorable. Rather than cribbing letter, ऐसा होता तो अच्छा होता, वैसा होता. वो कभी कभी का अमिताभ बच्चन का मूवी गया अभी.
I just remember I was just in one of the client meetings where it was again a love marriage, and the couple was deciding on all the elements, and we are paying the money out of our salary, so zyada budget nahi hai ye wo, and they were cutting down on important stuff. Okay, so then I just told ki ma'am, by doing this you are going to save 30,000 rupees. Sir, 30,000 में मैम की एक सिल्क साड़ी आएगी, उसके बाद क्या? लेकिन 4 महीने बाद जब आप फोटोज देखना चाहोगे तब आपको लगेगा यार 30,000 worth it था, we should have spent this money. So I think at the end of the day, the way you talk to your client, the way you sell your element to the client, more importantly, the way you educate your client on the importance of every element that you're pitching in, that is very important, and that is when your memories can be created very, very well and very sharply.
True. Even I say, as you said earlier, saying, click to koi bhi karta hai. So I always say, not even to wedding, even I tell to my advertising client also, to click an image. If you call a 5-year or maybe a 1-year child and say, beta ye button daba, he will click. That doesn't mean he is a photographer. Photography is done by the person who knows it. Okay, photography is not just click. I always say this sentence that photography is never behind the camera. It is always in front of the camera. What we are creating and how we are capturing. That is the most important thing.
That's a very well said sentence, that it's not just always behind the camera. It is how you create that particular moment and how you capture a live moment which is just happening, because you never know when moment is coming, right? You'll never know when that smile on the bride or the groom or the guest there, koi auntie, uncle, you never know when that moment is captured. You have to be alert. You have to be, looking all around you for that moment, and it's just there. Well, I think that's a very, very insightful session from Jatin, and so glad that he's very, very in a very simple, jada jargons nahi, and in a very simple language, he's just said what he had to say. If anybody has any questions, Neeraj or Hema or Prerna, Jitendra, if anybody has any questions, you can unmute and you can ask the questions. Put it up in the chat box and I'll take it up from there.
When you said Anita, I told it very in a simple thing. So when I'd like to add this, thanks to Dilip Bhatia, I have assisted Dilip Bhatia, and he has told me this. Jatin, try to be simple and try to make things simple. If you complicate yourself while working, the work will only get complicated. So keep it simple rather than making it complicated.
So the reason why I prefer having a very simple and a more of an interactive session is because not everybody here is going to be a wedding planner or a photographer who knows things. That we have budding artists, we have budding photographers in the group, we have people who are just becoming event planners now. So these kind of sessions help this set of people who are just learning through experience. They take up a project, usse seekhte hain, फिर एक second level का project करते हैं, and they're growing. With every project they're growing. So that is one reason that these education series are helpful for them especially. And thank you so much for your time and your experience sharing, especially of your experiences with regards to your learning experience, because that is where we know that, this is how we can tell, sir, ye problem aa sakti hai. If you know the problem beforehand, if you can, foresee certain issues that could come up, you can educate the client, sir, not this way, let's try this.
And that
is
comes through experience. That comes through experience. And I'll just say to the clients also, as I said, want to pass this message to clients as well as the photographer as well as the wedding planners, that trust your co-worker. If you're a photographer, you should trust your wedding planner that yes, what they are briefing me and they are going to do, it's going to be good. If you're as a wedding photographer, trust your photographer that he is professional enough to do and deliver to you. So that trust is very important.
We have a question from Neeraj. Neeraj, yes. Would you want to unmute and ask, or would you want me to ask? Go ahead, Neeraj.
Hi, Jatin.
Yes.
Very simplistic but enlightening. Yeah, this is amazing. Your pearls. I mean, we've been in the industry. I mean, I've been there in the 18 years, but something really simple but very thoughtful that I'm going to take away. But I just had this one question. We generally have a mix of ambient lighting. We have the metal halides, the white ones, and then the yellow ones. So, or the what would you say, the hollow lights that are there. So, according to you, what kind of a mix should be there? Which would really help a photographer, because there are a lot of lights when it comes to especially the night events. There are a lot of lights we play with generally, just to create an ambience, just to create, one kind of a light effect. Sometimes we go a little over the top in terms, possibly the photography or the photographer gets sidelined. So according to you, what could be the right ambience that we could set up, in terms of lighting?
See, when it comes to lighting or ambience, again, it all depends on what kind of a concept or what kind of a setting you have done, the mood you want to set. Because if you're doing yellow, the yellow is a warm light. So of course, warm is something gives you warmth, depth, love is always there. Or if you want to add blue, and see, all depends what kind of a mood you are going to trying to create.
So what I really wanted to know is, from the photography point of view, from your team point of view, what could be generally, one kind of a balanced light mix that as event planners or as wedding planners, we can provide. Say generally, whether they are ground lights or the banquet lights or things around, which can really actually support the photography that you guys are trying to do.
Like you have these face lights and you have these revolving lights these days. Then you have these small kind of bulbs which are very warm. I don't call them just warm, but they're kind of a little more than warm. So he just wants to understand
in banquets or on the open area gardens you're talking about?
I mean both. If you could, banquet, obviously you have a limited lighting scope, because there is obviously there is a fixed light that is there in the banquet. But when you look at open grounds, particularly why is because we are more into open grounds, and we are, for us, weddings encompass a huge area. So when a photographer really and the team has really to cover a whole ground, it is not just the Myra, it is not just the wedding or the reception stage, it is a lot of area otherwise also around open.
Got it. So in that case, now first thing, it's always depends on the venue, how the thing is. But if it's a ground, okay, then I will suggest it's photographer will be happy if there's a subtle even lighting all over the place. Okay. And the main area are highlighted. Like on the stage, if you have a spotlight, not the strongest one I'm talking about, okay, like which gives a hard shadows, and not like those, but a spotlight which is going on the bride and group, and maybe you're taking a group photo, it's covering there nicely, but obviously not from the ground level.
Yeah.
Because when you give a light on the ground level, okay, your cheek is going to bring a shadow upwards. Then your eyes goes in dark. Then this is highlighted, this is highlighted, this is highlighted, this is highlighted. It's not going to look at good at all. So if the light is there, make sure it is on the somewhere eye level or little above of eye level of the people who are standing on the stage. And as I said, not very hard, because the hard light creates hard shadows, and it's difficult for photographers to balance it, because when we are doing photography at the location at the ground, at the open area, we cannot use that small flashes because they don't reach over there, and if they take it from close also, if it reaches also, the exposure is set to the flash, and the other lights gets goes down. It becomes dark.
In fact,
the stage behind the people gets darker. So if the lighting is done evenly at the highlighting the stage also a little dramatically also okay, but giving a nice light on the face of the people who's special bride and groom on the stage, then obviously the pictures will look much better. And yes, as you said, yellow or thing, nowadays mostly LED used, white LEDs. So instead of neutral LEDs are always better, because they are little yellow, not yellow, little yellow tone. Is called a neutral LED light.
Neutral.
That gives a proper tone of skin tone. Yes.
To that.
Anita?
In fact, when Jitendra is mentioning that single color lights are helpful, cameras can white balance to these kind of single colors. And changing it in Sangeet, it gets very challenging. And this is something which even I want to discuss. Generally, what I prefer doing is, with the photographers team, I understand, and I kind of tell them what is going to be on stage, what is going to happen, and the color fixtures. I generally talk with the photographer team and the light person. We generally sit together and we plan okay, this is how it's going to be, and I take the suggestions from both the ends, and then we work out a plan accordingly.
That's the best way of doing it.
I don't see any more questions coming up.
Because as Jatendra said,
no, I think that is the best, because later.
Yeah, because see, I just want to say over there, because color correcting, color balance, doing white balance. Now, suppose if you are using a little more warmer light, and if I put off a color balances to more the warmer light, yellow light. So what happens when you do a color correction for yellow, it adds blue into it. Okay. Then imagine your other light is red. It will add blue into red in that red, so it will look dull. So that's why I said neutral density, light for the face is very important. So the color correction becomes easy for the photographer also.
Thanks. Thank you so much. That's been very helpful to us, Jatin. As I see no more questions coming up, I would like to take this opportunity to tell you a big thank you for taking your time, sharing your experiences, your knowledge of the photography industry. And in case anybody wishes to reach out to you, they can always connect with you. Jatin, is it okay if you can just share your contact details again on the chat box, or you want me to do it for you?
You can post it. That's not a problem. You have, or
give me a moment.
Yeah.
I'll just do it, because I'm just not able to send it across.
Okay, just a minute.
Thank you so much. So in,
Doing it. Yeah. Is that okay? That's my
Since we
email
have
address, my mobile number, my name, and my company name.
Perfect. That's perfect. So if anybody has any queries or would like to share their take some more knowledge out of Jatin's experiences, you can reach out to him on 982-111-8590. And thank you so much for taking time. And since we have Neeraj here, I would like to ask Neeraj to say a few closing words so that we can call the session to a closure.
Anita, this session, I have only one word. I'm speechless, frankly. So much that I thought I had, and yet so much has been gained today. So, Jatin, really amazing. So, as I earlier mentioned, simplistic but absolutely enlightening. And Anita, what about you? Excellent moderation. Your choice of questions, as usual, are always creating good insights for and good experiences for all members who are part of this community, the GWN, as we mentioned, Global Wedding Network. So friends, one big opportunity here to really hold hands and to something that even Jatin reverberated in terms is collaboration, collaboration, and collaboration. That is what we are here on this platform on GWN all about is actually to promote and to have a lot of collabs between each other, and obviously that is how business can be taken to the next level. So an amazing masterclass today, Jatin. Full thanks to you for your time that you have shared with us, and Anita, just wonderful. You keep coming up with such wonderful masterclasses, and it is so enjoyable and so valuable in terms of I can say insights and experiences. Thank you, guys, and looking forward to the next edition of this wonderful GL.
Thank you so much, Neeraj and Anita, for giving me the opportunity. And I'm always there if you guys need me. We'll be in touch. Sure.
Thank you so much. And thanks, GWN, for this wonderful opportunity of getting yet another wonderful collaborator on board with us. And I think with this, we can call the meeting to a closure.